Aloha beaches! Welcome to another Bake With Me video. In this one, I'm making my famous hazelnut brownies. They're Nutella hazelnut brownies. And there's quite a bit of recipes out there for Nutella hazelnut brownies, but this is my own little take on it. So for this recipe, what you will need some flour, all-purpose flour. You'll need a bag of hazelnuts. This small bag here is the exact amount you need. You can find it at Safeway or any grocery store, but I get this one at Safeway, chopped hazelnut. You will need some chocolate chips. I use the mini chocolate chips by Nestle. You'll need 2 eggs and Nutella, obviously. This is one of the bigger bottles of Nutella. You only need half of these. If you get one of the small ones, you'll need to get 2 of the small ones because you'll need 1.5 jars of the small ones. This big one you can get in a 2-pack at Costco, so that's where we get it. And you'll just need a good mixer and a good mixing bowl. So here we go. Let me show you what you do. Okay, so you have your 1¼ cup of flour in there, 2 eggs, and I have an assistant to help me film this part of it. Okay, so now I'm going to take the Nutella and then I'm going to put that in. Like I said, with a big jar like this, you only need about half of the jar. But if you get the smaller kind, you need 2 jars and use 1.5. So for this part, let's go ahead and put half of this in. And you can just eyeball it. I mean, obviously the more, the better. But if you do put extra, then you just want to add another like spoonful of flour in there. Like I said, just kind of eyeball about half of the jar. Of course, if you want to use the whole jar, you can just double the recipe and then just have even more brownies, but we don't need that much. It's just me and James, so.
And I love these brownies.
These are James's favorite around the holiday.
Even for breakfast, it's a nice chocolate joy in your mouth.
To have with coffee?
Yes, with coffee.
Okay. I'm just going to kind of scoop off the excess of the spoon. This is the fun part, licking the spoon.
It sure is, and it's delicious by itself.
Okay, now that we got the Nutella in, I'm going to pour in the hazelnuts. Now you don't want to use your whole bag of hazelnut. You want to save some off to the side, and I'll show you why in a minute. Okay, now I'm going to add in the mini chocolate chips. And for this, you don't need an exact measurement. I just like to use about like a handful. See, and there's some that dropped in there. Just throw that in there and put that aside. And now we're ready to mix it. Hello, kitty.
This is our precious cat, Leia.
Oh, Leia's making a little cameo in our cooking video.
Yes, we
Hi, Miss Leia.
adopted her from the Maui Humane Society. She's a gorgeous calico kitty. Hi, sweetheart.
Oh! She wants to get in the cooking video.
Isn't she precious?
Okay, now we're ready to mix our mixture. And this is where a good mixer comes in handy. We got this Black & Decker, courtesy of our grandma, Gigi,
Yes.
sent this in. So now we're just going to mix it all up.
There we go.
All right. Now you have it all mixed up. And we're ready to put it in our baking pan.
Okay.
Okay, now you want a good-sized Pyrex or glass pan to put it in. I have this nice good one, and what you want to do is put a nice layer of cooking spray all along the edges there, okay, before you put in the mixture. Okay, so now I have my cooking spray layered all over the pan. Now it's time to scoop in the brownie mixture in there. Now it just kind of comes off as a blob, but we'll get whatever leftover contents we can out of this bowl. Okay. Now what you want to do is, using a spatula, is just kind of spread it along your baking sheet here. Make sure you cover the entire bottom. So since this Pyrex is quite big, these brownies are going to come out quite thin. But of course you can use a smaller Pyrex. It'll just make your brownies a little bit thicker, and you might need to cook it a little bit longer.
Now, what's the history behind this recipe? Did you just learn this offhand, or...?
Well, the history is, I am unfortunately allergic to chocolate. It is a tragedy. Because chocolate is really good, but unfortunately chocolate gives me really bad migraines. So, when I was introduced to Nutella and found out that it's hazelnut and not quite chocolate...
There's a little bit of cocoa
There's a little bit of cocoa.
It's mostly hazelnut.
Yeah, it kind of changed my life because it allowed me to have chocolate, and then I've discovered that people have made brownies out of it. I saw it on the Food Network that they were making hazelnut brownies. And I thought, ooh, let me try that. So I looked up their recipe, but I kind of did my own little take on it, adding the chocolate chips and adding hazelnut. And since it's mini chocolate chips and there's not like a lot in it, I can have it and tolerate it okay. So, remember how I said put some hazelnuts aside? This is why. You want to go ahead, for presentation value, go ahead and spread some hazelnut along the top here. You can also spread a layer of chocolate chips if you want. But because of my allergy, I don't want to add more chocolate chip.
Right.
That's already in there.
It already looks delicious.
Okay, and I think I have a little bit more hazelnut here. Okay, get around the edges there. And voila! Okay, to bake them you want to preheat your oven to about 350 degrees. My oven is a little bit of a jerk and kind of goes a little hot, so I'm going to go kind of in between 350 and 325. You want to bake them for about 25 to 30 minutes, and like I said, if your Pyrex or whatever baking pan you're using is a bit smaller and your brownies are a bit thicker, then you want to bake it for an extra 5 to 10 minutes. The best way to check it to see if it's done, take a knife or a toothpick and poke into the brownie, and if you still see some, like it's still a little creamy, then you want to bake it for another 5 to 10 minutes. Okay, we're about ready to pop this bad boy into the oven. Get that in there, and we're good. Alright, our brownies are done.
Oh, smells divine.
Might have been a little overcooked around the edges a little bit. I cooked it, I said 25 to 30, but because it came out like thinner on our Pyrex, I went ahead and went for like 22, 23.
Yeah.
So it looks like it's about done. It's already kind of crisp on the edges there. So we'll let this cool for about 10 minutes. And then we will cut it open and try it out. I'm having a meltdown. This is the cutest thing. I got this at Kmart. So
Kmart has been our savior on the island.
yeah, all our decorations are from Kmart. Yeah. So, all right, we'll let that cool down, and we will cut that open in just a minute.
Okay, awesome.
Okay, now I'm going to cut the brownies. So what I do, cut lengthwise. And voila! You have your Nutella Hazelnut Brownies.
Okay, so I'm gonna have a little bite-sized one here.
My guinea pig. You got a hazelnut on your lip. Delicious?
Delicious.
Awesome.
Divine.
Alright, so if you liked this video, give it a thumbs up, share and subscribe, and if you do try and make these, comment below and let me know how they turned out and if you like them. Alright you guys, we'll see you on the next one. Aloha!
Aloha!